Thank you for calling Call-In Studios host and call screener line. Please enter your show number and press pound. You did not enter a show number. Goodbye. Thank you for calling Call-In Studios host and call screener line. Please enter your show.
Well, great morning, great morning. So excited on today to be at the table. This is Elder Roz, and again, you are watching and listening to Rose Table Talk. It's a beautiful day, and I am just grateful and honored to be alive on today. So listen, I want you to tell somebody that Rose Table Talk is going on live. I want you to invite someone. Go ahead on and start a watch party because we have a wonderful show for you on today. If you don't know, I am at the table on today. I feel like she's a legend in her own right. Such a beautiful spirit, as the advertiser said. It's Nola's homegirl, so sweetheart. I'm here with an author. She is a world-renowned speaker. She's an American broadcaster, none other than Sally Ann Roberts. Good morning to you, Sally
And
Ann.
I am so happy to be standing or sitting next to you, Roz, because this show is, I've been listening to your show, and this show has power, and you're reaching the world. And I admire you so much and your spirit and doing everything prayerfully. I'm just proud to be here with you
Oh,
and with my darling daughter, Kelly there,
Kelly, yes.
and and Sonia, who is helping out with everything. And I just feel that this is a good day.
It is. And so you all, I'm bubbling, just smiling from ear to ear on today because I get an opportunity to sit down to talk to you, Sally Ann, and I just want to let you know that you definitely are inspiration to many. And I would have never thought that I would be in this close proximity with someone that
Come on
that you look
now.
at from afar and you look at it and it's like, what is this really happening? So I'm just bubbling and gleaming
Oh.
on today. But I definitely want to just let the world know who Sally Ann is. I know everyone has seen you again in I would say work mode, but it wasn't really work. It's your passion and what you do because your spirit just comes through in everything that you do.
Thank you.
So I'm excited because there's so much. I was taking notes and writing just a whole lot down. I was Googling stuff and, because I know Sally Ann, but the world just needs to know Sally Ann. So first I want to talk about soothing songs with Sally Ann and Kelly. So now you host as well. And I want everybody to know, when does this take place and how does all this come about?
Well, it all started because of Kelly and Rosalind Nocentelli Flock. They were the ones who came up with the idea for a radio station. And actually, it's amazing how the Lord works in mysterious ways, because they had no idea several years ago when they came up with this idea that when I was a young reporter, I saw myself, I had a vision of what retirement would look like for me. And I envisioned living in a house with a satellite dish outside.
Wow.
And then I would operate a radio station, and I would go and I would padding around in my house shoes.
Retired life,
My
yeah.
retired life.
Absolutely.
And I would every now and then I'd flip on the microphone and I say, "How y'all doing?" And then I put my gospel music back on again.
Wow.
And then this came about.
Years ago.
And years ago, because satellite dish,
Right.
I didn't have any idea of an internet,
Exactly.
what we have today, and now that vision has come true because of Kelly and Rosalind, and I'm so very, very honored to be a part of this because I turn on Let's Live Radio. I keep it on. I keep it on my. It's a free app.
Correct.
Let'sLiveRadio.com. You can get it on your computer, or you can just get the free app.
Right.
And one morning I got up and I was feeling a little down, feeling like dragging, and then I turned on Let's Live Radio. And all of a sudden my spirit was encouraged.
Yes.
And I'm just so proud to be a part of this great opportunity
Yes.
to glorify our Father.
It really is, and I listened in, and it really does. It uplifts you because there's so much, and especially now more than ever, everything that we see going on, we need that encouragement.
Yes.
We need that inspiration, just something to calm our spirit. And again, when we tune in, every time you listen, it's an inspirational word. It could be a song that will really just lift your spirits up. So retirement. So because you are retired, you seem so busy to me in retirement.
Well, I am busy in this new chapter of my life.
Yes.
My life right now, Monday through Friday, revolves around my grandson, Elijah. I sit and watch him as he is distance learning.
Yes.
And I feel that's my calling, to be there for him. And I know that not all children have that option to have someone actually there in the room as they are on their computer, and then I can follow what's going on, and I can give him a thumbs up when he answers a question correctly, and just encourage him. So that's my primary role right now as grandmother, and the other thing is Let's Live Radio. And then something else that dropped into my lap because of my sister, Dorothy.
Yes.
Dorothy opened a store. She talk about somebody who changed directions in life. She was a very successful social worker.
Okay.
And she ran a big rehabilitation center on the Gulf Coast.
Okay.
And she knew in her heart of hearts that it was time to close that chapter and walk in another direction. And she opened Robin's Nest in the Past.
Yes.
It's in Past Christiane, and it is awesome. When you walk into her store, you feel like you're just given a hug because all of the merchandise in the store is encouraging, inspiring, and she has local artists who sell their things on consignment. They're reaching an audience, and she has this book people can sign in, and people have come from all over the world. They've stopped in her store
I can
and
believe
shopped.
it. I was going through the just the website alone.
Yes.
And I had to apologize to my husband because we're in the car and I'm just scrolling and I'm looking and each piece just catches you.
Yes.
And it makes you stop and slow down. And it even just on a website, I was so drawn into that. So, but the couple of questions about that. Now, how many sisters? How many?
I have two sisters.
Two sisters.
And Robin is the youngest.
Okay.
And I say my baby sister became my big sister, and
Okay.
she is just doing so well as the co-anchor of Good Morning America and
Correct.
all that she does. I'm so proud of Robin, and she has come through the storms
So
of life.
is that, because I wanted to know the name, so the name is Robin's Nest in the past. So how did that name come about? Because I said,
Yeah.
well, there's several sisters. I
Yeah.
guess, can you tell us how that
Well,
came
I
about?
guess you couldn't say Sally's Nest in the past. So and Dorothy will be calling in, and she can
Correct.
tell you more about the name of the store. But yeah, I think that there are a lot of people who found out about oh, I gotta. Isn't this something? I got to get my tissue out here.
Yeah.
Isn't that? This is live,
It's
everybody.
live.
This
It is live. So, it is live.
I carry my tissue now.
Every lady does. That's right.
I got my tissue.
Every
All
lady
right.
does.
And anyway, but Robin had an idea. Rather, Dorothy had an idea for the shop, and everything in there. If my mother were alive today, I know she would be she would have a chair,
Right
and she'd
there
be
in the
sitting right up there in that shop because it all reflects
Yes.
Lucy Marion's style and
Yes.
and a lot of things that we saw growing up all over the world. And there are some Turkish influences in the shop because we lived in Turkey for 2.5 years.
Really? Okay.
In Izmir, Turkey. And so, I mean, it's just, I can't explain it. You have to go and experience it. And once you go, you will keep going back. But you don't have to go all the way to Pastor
That's right, you
Christiane.
do not.
You can go online.
That's right,
And you
exactly.
you can order things online. And like she sells, we have this, I should backtrack. Dorothy called me and she said, Sally Ann, I'm thinking about starting something in the store called the Power Collection.
Okay.
Would you be interested in co-curating this with me? And I tell you, that has been a blast.
Was that immediate you to know that this is what I,
This is it.
Yes,
I
correct.
knew this was my calling.
Correct.
And before the pandemic, we were able to go out to all of these large shows, where marketing shows
Yes.
where you can go and choose your items
Correct.
wholesale and all of that. And it's interesting that sometimes I'll say, I think this is something for the shop.
Right.
And Dorothy says, I don't know. But then she puts it in there and it sells.
And it sells.
And then Dorothy,
Yes.
the opposite, Dorothy will say, I think this is great for the shop. And I say, I don't know. And then it
I
resonates.
love it, yeah.
So we combine our efforts and anything that you purchase from the Power Collection, a portion of those proceeds will go to this station to make sure that we stay on the
Isn't
air.
that awesome?
And so it's just a win-win situation.
It is.
And you'll find things like this journal. I'm a journalist.
Yes, me too.
I'm a journalist.
I have one in my, I need a new one, so guess where I'm going to get one from.
I tell you. And you'll see a lot of tree by the water because I'm very influenced by Psalm 1 and 3. And
Yes.
whenever I would autograph books, at my book signings, I would always draw in my own way a tree by the water.
Really? Okay.
Because your leaf shall never wither, and all you do, you shall prosper.
That's right.
When you're
When
following,
you're following
him,
that's right.
it
Planted by the, yes,
he
planted.
he can take whatever comes your way, and he can get you through it. It doesn't mean that everything is always rosy.
Exactly.
But anyway, but I digress. I do that all the time. My children will tell you, don't get Mama started because Mama just go on a rant.
But it can't always be rosy. It can always be rosy in the rose table. It
go.
can.
It fits in. It fits in.
But when I was looking at it, it's just so much love. Really looking at the website, just the picture of Robin and just really, I could just feel that this is just not it's something unique.
Yeah.
It's very special. It's creative, and I just literally could feel the love coming through just looking at the website. And when you get down to the Power Collection, I wanted to ask you, because you are author of several books, so your power is on. You had already published this book, and then later the Power Collection comes out. So it really just kind of God was leading you in that direction all along. It seems like.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely. And even with my very first book, I was talking about Your Power is On, and that goes way back to when I was starting as a reporter
Now, I
at
wrote that down. Was it
WWL.
going live? Going live, Angel Vision. I was writing down everything.
Oh my goodness, Going Live and Anchorwoman Reports Good News. That was my first book, and I talked about live. When we think about live, and that there are no tape. I used to go out to schools and say there are no tape delays, no instant replays. You got to live and give it all you got. You got
That's
to carry and bear a
true.
whole lot, because life is live.
I love it. I love
So-
it. Yes.
But it really goes back to something that my first husband, Willie, who passed away with colon cancer after 25 years of marriage, and he was an encourager from the very beginning. You need somebody in your life who can
Yes.
see for you what you
Yes.
cannot see for yourself.
Correct.
And Willie Jerome Craft was
He
that
was
for
that
me.
person.
He could see, and even when I was starting out, I was in school, and I was thinking about becoming a teacher. Then I went through, the student teaching, and I realized maybe I'm not called to do this. And
I could see you. I could see you doing it. I really could. The little
Anyway.
kids. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, the high schoolers. Anyway, but they were wonderful, wonderful. I tell you, teachers, that is a mission.
Yes, it is.
That's a calling.
It's a calling.
It's a
It's a
calling.
calling.
And
Yes.
you know you're called to it. It's something that's inside of
That's
you.
right.
Anyway, but I told Willie, I said, I've always wanted to become a television reporter. And he said, well, why aren't you doing something? Why aren't you going? Why aren't you going
Go
in that
pursue
direction?
it.
Why? And I said, oh, I don't know. I was so shy. And one day he drove me over to the campus radio station at Southern Miss.
Okay.
And it was off campus, and I didn't even know what he was doing. He drove, and he stopped the car in the middle of that lot. And he said, I'm not going anywhere till you go in there and see about getting a position.
Now
a
that's the
training
kind of person
position.
you need in your corner.
Yeah. And so he was there, and when I walked in, the chairman of the entire communications department just happened to be at the radio station at that time, and I found out that was kind of unusual. And then, but this is what I wanted to say. When I got the job in New Orleans at WWL TV, and I thank God for Angela Hill, who was passing through Hattiesburg, and she saw me on WDAM, and she told Phil Johnson, who was the news director at that time, about me. And, I was kind of like, oh, no,
about this?
I know this is a big city. This is difficult. I don't know if I can do this. But Willie was the one who said, yes, you can.
Pushing
yes, you
you.
can. And then
Yes.
every day, this is what he would say to me as I went out to work. He would say, the power is on. And
Oh my God.
and if he forgot to say it, I'd say, Willie. He'd say, the power's on.
Oh my
And
God.
just to
Awesome.
remind me and to remind
Yes.
each of us that it's not by our power.
That's right.
It's by
His
his.
power. That's
and
right.
if you're called to do something, he will give you the
That's
ability
right.
and the favor to do it.
Oh yes, I was sharing with a dear friend of mine, a mentor, and just last night how we neglect the power of Holy Spirit because again, and if you all know, we have church here, so
good.
we have that helper that we need to succeed in life. That's where the power comes from, and it is within us, and we have to just depend and lean on that to be able to walk in victory in everything that we do. So I love even the whole concept. So when you started writing, which was your third book, The Power is On, so what did you sit down one day and you said, okay, I'm going to write a third book, or you felt the unction to say it's time to do it? How did it even, because you already had the title.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is that if you read the first book, you'll see at the very end there is a meditation that I included because it came to me after I had finished and I had sent the manuscript to the publisher. And one morning I was having quiet time, and this incredible message came to me. And then I contacted the publisher and said, "Can you put one more thing in there?" And I was very happy that he was able to do that. And so, Your Power is On is actually that message.
Okay.
And it is to remind everyone that it's just the power of that message is so incredible. If I have it here.
I hope you do.
Let's see. I don't know what I did with it. Be still and know that I am God.
Yes.
I am. I created this world and everything in it. I gave you life and every other living thing, plant and animal. Do you really think I cannot help you overcome any obstacle? I am.
Yes.
I am. I give life. I give peace. I give joy.
That's right.
Don't fall for the devil's lies. He wants you to give up, cave in, and pack up. Tell the devil no and keep putting one foot in front of the other.
Come on.
And that is the message in its entirety that went out. And it's kind of lengthy, but it was so powerful to me. And then this is how Your Power is On came about. My co-anchor, my good friend Eric Paulson is an incredible photographer.
Exactly.
And he was showing me some of his photography. And I said, I would like to put that message to your photography. Can we do that?
Isn't that awesome?
And so Eric provided the photography, and the entire message is in that book.
Beautiful.
And so I think I'm going to stop because I keep on going on.
I love it that you all came together and collaborated like that.
He's a wonderful person.
But it's just so awesome. And I really, again, those that are listening and viewing, just to know when you begin to take that step and trust God, everything was really, it was laid out for you. And to take that out, to take that step, to have that person that's inspiring you, that is pushing you. And you're touching people on and off camera, on scene, off scene, and the message is just still going and going and going. What do you, when you sit back in your quiet time? I know already you say God is good. I know. Did you see all of this? What do you say when you sit back to say, God, where you've taken me and the people that I've had an opportunity to touch? And
my.
I know it's overwhelming. I could imagine it's overwhelming.
Yes. It is. It's a wonderful gift, and that's why I really recommend that people journal.
Yes.
I call it my Dear God letter, and the first letter came when I was in the depths of despair. How many of you know that when you are down and you feel like you can't even look up, that's when the Holy Spirit will come upon you and say, "Look to me.
Look to me."
And so that's
to remind you your power. Turn your power on.
Yes.
I'm here. Just turn your power on because it is there.
Yeah, and that's why I love this pillow that I that's part of the Power collection. Be still. And that comes from Psalm 46:10.
Yes.
Be still and know that I am God.
Yes.
Know it.
And it's in that stillness. I was sharing before, in the stillness, it doesn't mean to, be stagnated, but in those things that seem hard for you, in those things that you don't have an answer for, listen, just stay right there in the presence of God, still going about your day, still doing good, still helping in the ways that you can help, but be still to know that situation, God has it under control. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to help him out. You don't have to make any kind of suggestions, but just be still right now. And really, when we kind of let that situation just sit there, then I believe God is saying, okay, now I can do what I want to do because you're in the way. Get out of the way.
Got to get out the way. And just believe. And sometimes when we are going through tough times, and I remember that was my first Dear God letter that I wrote because I thought, the devil is alive. And the devil will play some tricks.
He doesn't play fair.
He doesn't play fair.
He doesn't play fair.
And so there was a time when the station was going through, and the entire community was going through an economic downturn. and I had an early edition show that I
Okay.
was anchoring.
Right.
And they said, well, we can't continue it because
Okay.
we can't get the advertising
mhm.
to cover that. And so I thought, well, I guess the handwriting's on the wall. I'm about to get
That's
fired.
it. Yeah. Right.
Because the
yeah.
devil is a liar. He'll plant that idea in your mind and let it
And
fester.
then you start helping them out with saying it and repeating the wrong thing.
And so, and I wrote my Dear God letter, and I wrote all these things, and I said, and Willie and I depend on two incomes to pay everything, and we can't,
Right.
and then the strange thought came to me. Now be still and listen.
Oh my God, that's it. Yeah.
And then I started getting these positive thoughts. I don't
Yes.
when it's
Yes.
exactly. His sheep know his voice.
Exactly. Oh
and,
yes. Oh
and
yes.
when he's speaking positive
That's right.
and calming
Right.
thoughts, and I started to write those down, and I wrote all of that down, and it was a bizarre message, and I put that in the book, the
Okay.
first book, and it was, to me, it didn't make any sense. It was like, you're not going to get fired, you're going to get a promotion. I'm like, what? And then a couple of weeks later, Joe Duke, who was the news director, called me into his office, and I immediately went back to the devil's side of the fence.
thinking,
I'm
here
about
it
to get
is.
my pink slip. Okay, all
Here
right.
it is. Oh
And
my
then
goodness.
he said, well, Angela is going on extended vacation, and we need Judy Storch to do the weekday shows. We want you to anchor weekends. Can you anchor weekends?
Oh my God.
And I, like a fool, said, I thought you were going to fire me.
Yes.
Don't ever voice what the devil
Never
puts on
say
your
that.
mind.
Give him no fuel. Give
Don't
him no. That's right. But isn't that something?
But this is it. And then Joe looked at me and said, what?
Fire
We
you.
weren't even thinking about that. So that devil
that is
is
awesome.
a liar, because he will put he'll put thoughts in your mind.
Yes. Yes.
And he'll put negative thoughts in your mind, and it doesn't even materialize.
Right. Correct.
And whatever comes to you has to pass through him first. Doesn't
Has
mean that
to.
everything.
That's right. That's right.
Everything's going to be just rosy, rosy, rosy.
Yes. Correct.
You're going to face trials
Yes.
and tribulations in life,
That's a
but
part
you're
of
never
it.
going to face it alone.
Never. That is powerful that you said now. And here it is. It actually came out of your mouth. So, but the other person said that
Yeah.
wasn't even in our plans.
And so I think that was really for me to hear
Exactly.
that. Because
Exactly.
then I realized I had, imagined this whole scenario. And I think that's what happens when we get into the dumps.
Yeah.
When we get into the dumps, one of my favorite ministers, Joyce Meyer, said, she said, "What do you do when you get in the dumps? You go in the bathroom and you look at yourself crying, and and you just feed into it." And so you need that encouragement that comes
Yes.
from knowing. And this is why I say everyone should journal, because I
Yes.
have stacks and stacks of journals, and
Yes.
I've divided them up by years. And I can go through those journals, and I see things I was worried about
That God had worked out.
but I had forgotten that He had worked
yes.
them out.
Yes.
So keep your
It's a great
journal.
encouragement.
Yeah.
I was sharing and yesterday when I had spoken, it's like, oh, I'm so sorry because I didn't call you back, but I had 2 speaking engagements. And as I was at the speaking engagement, just pondering, okay, what do I say, Lord? What do I say? And the word remember came to me. And again, just to remember the things that God had done, to go back and to remember the victories, to go back and to remember, that no longer are we alienated from God, but even remember the great victory that He won on the cross. And now you are His child. But we have to remember, just as you said, and I think you're so right. Last night I was sitting and I was writing, and I kind of laughed because I said, what am I going to do with all these books? I have these so it's amazing that you said it, because I have so many, but it's so encouraging to just kind of pick it up and see what you wrote back in 2005. I see what you wrote back in 2018, and you're like, God, if you did that, you're the same yesterday, today, and forever. Why wouldn't you take care of me now? So that's why it's so important. And I I really pray that you are just being encouraged on this morning, because listen, this power is available to you too. And that's what I just love about it. This power, it's not selfish. So God wants us all to walk in victory and to just experience his love every day. And I mean, whatever you are dealing with, we have help that has already been provided that would make the load lighter. That would, and again, and it could be a load. Even now, Sally Ann, I mean, COVID-19, I mean, our lives have changed. I say in my age bracket and where I am, I never thought I would see anything like this. What did you expect, or when this first happened? What thoughts were going through your mind with COVID?
As with everyone, it was a complete shock.
Mm-hmm.
And then you lean not to your own understanding, but in all your ways you acknowledge him, and you know that he will direct your path.
Mm-hmm.
And I pray. I'm not Catholic, but there is a Catholic church that is open all the time that I go to, just to sit quietly in prayer. And I know that there are people praying all over the world. When we go through something like this, it draws us closer to him. And I know that this will be over one day, but we just have to keep putting one foot in front of the other. And yes, we have to be careful.
Yes.
I won't be having a big Thanksgiving dinner. I'm not going to have the big Thanksgiving dinner. Everyone's going to be in their pod because that's the way it is.
Yes.
So we make some adjustments and we do what we can. But we also trust God. We also trust him. And we know that, one of the things you can get at Dorothy's store, Robin's Nest in the Past, and it's part of the Power Collection, you can get Bible covers.
I saw those.
And I love this one, Still I Rise, Maya Angelou. And on the other side it says, you may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust I'll rise.
I rise.
And so we have to realize that God is he is our all in all. And sometimes people will say, well, this person is doing that or this person is doing that and whatever. Nobody on this earth is more powerful than God.
That's right.
And if you've got a problem, take it to him.
That's right.
And we intercede and we intercede for all the nurses, the doctors, all of the hospital workers, the frontline workers who get up every day. And they go and they face this.
That's right.
And they're hurting inside because they see so much death.
Yes.
We've had more than 250,000 people who were alive in January
that are no longer
not here.
Yes.
And so we need to pray for all of those who are working, all of the scientists, and we just need to be in as we are doing what we can to protect ourselves, we also need to be very prayerful at this time.
Yes, definitely.
I
think that's really something great that you said too, because COVID has changed a lot, and I think that would be really great, even during this holiday season, to remember those frontline workers. I think sometimes when you kind of take yourself out of the equation and put yourself in someone else's shoes, and just to really have empathy and that compassion to lift them up, wouldn't that just be an awesome prayer at the table, whether it's just you and your spouse or just you and you alone, and just to lift up those frontline workers, because even on that holiday, they're still going to be out there. There's doctors, there's nurses, phlebotomists. They're still out there serving us. So that's an excellent way to share the power that you have with someone else. So we're going to take a quick break. We have a special call, and I am just so excited to be sitting at the desk with Sally Ann, and Dorothy's going to be calling in because she's going to tell us a whole lot more. And listen, Christmas time is coming. This is a great time to shop till you drop. There's some wonderful pieces. I saw a bag on there. It was like a sister bag. I'm going to get that tote, but I was all on the website last night. So listen, we're going to take a quick break. But if you have a question or just want to just share something with Sally Ann on today, I want you to go ahead and call in 504-294-LIVE. We're going to have a special gift. Come on and call us. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be right back on Rose Table Talk.
This year, people all around the world have had to go without due to sickness, the mandatory shutdowns, caring for a family member, and even evictions. Here in New Orleans, we have had one weather emergency after another. So this Thanksgiving, if you can, lend a helping hand by donating coats of any size but in good condition or canned goods. Donations are being taken at the Executive Plaza in the lobby area, located at 10001 Lake Forest Boulevard in New Orleans East. Drop off your items anytime between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Deadline to drop off your donation is Tuesday, November 24th. That's the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Thank you for being a part of the Coats and Cans Drive that's sponsored by the Executive Plaza, Breakthrough Media, and Let's Live Radio. Stay tuned for pickup date. And most importantly, never give up. The Power Collection features merchandise that is meant to uplift, inspire, and motivate. Sally Ann and Dorothy Roberts curate this collection, selecting items that they hope will resonate with you. Whether you are selecting an item for yourself or just giving a gift, this collection will reflect your inner power. Just visit robinsnestinthepast.com and go to the Power Collection. This year, people all around the world have had to go without due to sickness, the mandatory shutdowns, caring for a family member, and even evictions. Here in New Orleans, we have had one weather emergency after another. So this Thanksgiving, if you can, lend a helping hand by donating coats of any size but in good condition or canned goods. Donations are being taken at the Executive Plaza in the lobby area, located at 10001 Lake Forest Boulevard in New Orleans East. Drop off your items anytime between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Deadline to drop off your donation is Tuesday, November 24th. That's the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Thank you for being a part of the Coats and Cans Drive that's sponsored by the Executive Plaza, Breakthrough Media, and Let's Live Radio. Stay tuned for pickup date. And most importantly, never give up.
And we are back at the table on Rose Table Talk. I am here with Sally Ann Roberts on today. We've been having a wonderful time today. Listen, to just remind you that your power is on, and we have a special treat for you on today. So our caller on the line is none other than Dorothy Roberts. She and her sister, Sally Ann, as she was just saying, listen, they're the curators of Robin's Nest in the Past. Miss Dorothy, are you there? Power Collection, that's right. Are you there, Miss Dorothy?
Hey, Dorothy.
Yes, I can hear you all. Thank you for having me.
Oh, we're so excited. Thank you so much for being on the show on this morning.
It's exciting to be here on a beautiful November 23rd.
Yes, it's Robin's
talk a little bit-
birthday. Our
Today
sister,
is it?
yes.
Oh, happy birthday, Robin.
Happy birthday to ya.
I didn't know. Well, isn't that wonderful? So, Dorothy, I have just been sitting and sharing with your lovely sister on today and just wanting to hear so much more about what God is doing. I was visiting your website on last night, and I was telling Sally Ann, just even visiting the website, you could really feel just the love, the beautiful picture, number one, that comes up with you and Robin is just wonderful. So tell us a whole lot more about Robin's Nest in the Past. Tell us about the Power Collection, because I definitely want listeners to get information so that they would even go in person to visit, on the website to visit. So tell us a little bit more about it.
Sure. Well, Robin's Nest in the Past opened 5 years ago on September 18th, 2015. You already heard Sally Ann to some degree talk a little bit about how we created the Power Collection, which came about. I think we've been doing this now for almost a full year. Sally Ann and I go on buying trips, and one of our trips we talked about, let's find merchandise that uplifts, inspires, and motivates other people. And so as we were talking, we said, well, we can call this the Power Collection. so she joined in with me, which is really just a wonderful thing to work with your big sister
yes.
on this particular collection. And she comes into the store and she goes on trips with me. So the merchandise is, as I said, to uplift, to inspire, and to motivate people. So that's what we look for. We look for comfort. We look for items that have a message on them. And on our website, which is robinsnestinthepast.com, we have an entire collection that says the Power Collection. Now, I try to put as much online as possible because we are located at 255 Davis Avenue in Pasquisham. And right now, this wonderful radio show is coming out of New Orleans. So not everybody can travel all the way over here to Mississippi, not only from New Orleans, but from, anywhere.
Right.
So we try to keep as much merchandise online as possible. We have a very strong social media presence also. So follow us on Facebook. And when you follow us on Facebook, sometimes I will do videos of the Power Collection, and then people message me, and then I send them an invoice, and I ship it. And with the pandemic going on, we really have increased our social media presence, and we've increased our online sales and also our sales via invoice.
Now,
So
I was looking too. I didn't mean to cut you off, Ms. Dorothy. I was looking at the website because there seems to be some, I guess, in my word, just some special pieces. I saw there was a collection that, if I'm not mistaken, that you actually have, and then I couldn't even pronounce the name at first.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Kelly, but she said that there is even named after your mother,
Lucy Marion.
Lucy Marion.
Yes.
So it's just so family oriented. Just even looking at the
and
website.
the Colonel collection,
Yes,
Colonel Roberts.
I said, this is wonderful. So all of this was lying dormant in you, Miss Dorothy? I mean, was it all kind of just something that you knew, or just one day you said, okay, that's it, I'm going to just follow this passion? How did it even really all start come out?
Well, if you heard Sally Ann say, I was a social worker, and you weren't a social worker, always a social worker. I was a social worker by trade, if you will. I worked for 25 years with the state of Mississippi, working with people with developmental disabilities. But when you even go back further, living in New Jersey, I was a kid who'd wake up on Saturday morning and would go get the Childcraft series, which is really the modern day YouTube now. Back then, it was an encyclopedia basically, and I would find different things in there to make. I've always enjoyed creating things. I started making jewelry about 20 years ago, and Robin wore some pieces, Sally Ann wore some pieces, and before you knew it, I had a little business called Just For You Jewelry. And I sold that for about 10 years in a gallery in Gulfport. And when Mom got so ill and Robin was ill, you take stock in life. And I said to myself, if I'm given another season in life, what would you have me do, God? I always put things before Him in a prayer request to say, am I doing what you would have me do? And Sally Ann and I were on a trip to go see our Aunt Ophelia in her latter years of life. And as we were sitting in the airport, we almost got snowed in Akron, Ohio. And as we were sitting in the airport waiting for our plane to get on the plane, I was reading an article in Black Enterprise magazine that I had picked up. And it had an article about actually Michael Vick's wife, who started a boutique. And she said, there were so many people who really embraced him and thought a lot of him. And she said that I wanted to have this boutique that, kind of honored him, if you will. And I got to thinking, Robin had been so ill. We'd had so many people who were praying for her. And I said, I bet you people would enjoy having a little place to come to have a little sense of Robin. And I wrote down on my napkin Robin's Nest.
Wow.
And when I got home, I called her and I said, I think I'm going to retire. I think in this new season in life, I think I'm going to open up a gift shop where I can sell my jewelry. I can also support other local artists in their creative venue. adventures, and I'll call it Robin's Nest, if that's okay with you. And she told me, go for it, sister. That's fine.
Wonderful.
And we added in the past because most people know that Pass Christian is called the past. So that's why it's called Robin's Nest in the past. And that's the story of why I got started. And I do have a collection called the D. Roberts Collection.
Mm-hmm.
It's I have some pieces online. I've just finished traveling a little bit. Please pray for me that my husband and I don't get sick or haven't passed anything on to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But I was out in Arizona and I bought some beautiful turquoise, and I just enjoyed buying strands of gemstones and making necklaces out of them and earrings. And but the store is 1,200 square feet, so it doesn't have just my jewelry. It has distinctive artisan-made jewelry from Mississippi, from all the way from across the United States. We have a line of collection called Maurice Mueller's jewelry. He works in pewter. We have home goods. We have pillows. Oh my goodness, we sell so many pillows, and the thing about them is that they are made here in Mississippi.
Okay.
It's supporting a family in Calhoun City, Mississippi. Some of those pillows are a part of the Power Collection because of the phrases on them, such as things. We just got in a certain amount of those, and they're almost all sold already. So it's retail is a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of work, but it doesn't feel like work because it's just what I have a passion for doing, and I love opening the doors and welcoming people from all over the United States and also internationally who come and they've heard about the store, they've heard about Robin, they put it on their bucket list to come out and to visit. You mentioned the collections that we have. We have our father. We're honoring him with the Colonel collection. We're honoring Mom with the Lucy Marion collection. And, of course, we honor Robin's love for Pastor Shan with naming the gift shop in her honor.
Well, Dorothy, if you could.
And now I'll be quiet.
No. Thank you so much. I mean, I am just really just honored. It's such a show of love. Again, just the tributes that you have to your sister, your mom, your dad, working with your sister. I mean, it's really just a beautiful display of really what happens when family just come together, and it's ministry. You know, sitting here with your sister, she's a minister, a preacher in her own right, and what she does is minister, and the same of what you're doing too. And I really hope that someone has even been encouraged today. What was so powerful, and I just want to say this, and I want you to give your information one more time. As you said, you stopped and you asked God, what would you have me to do in this next season in life? And I just hope that someone is encouraged that, you know, what that passion, if is there that dream that's inside of you, go to God and ask him, be still. And I believe that he will give you the directions, the step, and on top of that, he's going to put people in your pathway to bring it to pass. So Ms. Dorothy, thank you so much. I'm going to be patronizing. Definitely. I saw some items. I was telling my husband last night in the car. I said, okay, I was making my shopping list. So please tell us one more time your website. If someone wants to visit, the address, please.
Okay. Well, we're located at 255 Davis Avenue in downtown Pasco Shan. It connects right with Highway 90. We're in the second block of Davis Avenue, so go up towards the railroad tracks. We're in a beautiful robin egg blue building. Our website is robinsnestinthepast.com. You can follow us on Facebook at Robin's Nest in the Past, and also Instagram with Robin's Nest. And we have some upcoming activities. We'll be closed for Thanksgiving Day. Black Friday we will be open. Shop tomorrow. Saturday we will be open. We're also open on Sundays from noon until 4, just until the end of the year. Our normal business hours are Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. But when people message me, and if they, like last night, I had a person who is the CEO of one of our local hospitals, and he said, I just can't get here during the day. His wife and I knew each other from working on a board, and she said, could he come out? And I said, sure. So he came out at 5:45 last night and shopped with me personally, and got almost all of his things done, all of his lists. So we do that as well. We will open privately for people, for organizations, sororities, people who, just would like to have a little bit of VIP service if they need that, or just this extra time.
Okay.
So
Wonderful.
Saturdays we're open until 10 until 4. Sundays we're open until noon until 4. And I appreciate all this opportunity to speak with your group and your listeners. And just always, I'll leave you with just always know and believe in yourself. Listen to that inner voice. God will direct you. Sally Ann knows the 5 P's. You want to pray. You want to prepare. You want to proceed.
Persevere.
You want to persevere, and you want to praise Him. And
Wonderful.
you live your life with those 5 P's, and you can never go wrong.
I love you, sister.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Thank you
Love
so
you
much,
too,
Dorothy,
Sally
for
Ann.
calling
And
in.
also my wonderful niece. So proud of you, Kelly.
Kelly.
So very proud of listening to you. And you're doing what God intends you to do, and it's beautiful to hear. And thank you so much for moderating also with us.
Thank you so much for calling in, Dorothy. We do appreciate it, and we just pray God's blessings upon everything that you put your hands to.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
See you soon.
I guess I'll sign off for now, or I'll be listening though.
Yes, ma'am. Keep listening
Okay.
because we are so excited.
Yes.
And again, we are just at the table here with so much power and love, encouragement, inspiration, you name it, that is happening on this morning. So please listen, we're going to go ahead and give that information one more time after we come back from the break, because we want you to visit the website. Listen, go on there, be inspired. This is a wonderful way just to show love with someone, really through a pillow, through a journal. Just, everything has been hand selected to encourage and inspire you. So we're going to take a quick break. I'm excited because we're going to be talking with Casmé after the break. So listen, tell somebody it's not too late. Come on and join in at the conversation. We'll be right back on Rose Table Talk.
This year, people all around the world have had to go without. On Lake Forest Boulevard in New Orleans East, drop off your items anytime between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Deadline to drop off your donation is Tuesday, November 24th. That's the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Thank you for being a part of the Coats and Cans Drive that's sponsored by the Executive Plaza, Breakthrough Media, and Let's Live Radio. Stay tuned for pickup date. And most importantly, never give up. This year, people all around the world have had to go without due to sickness, the mandatory shutdowns, caring for a family member, and even evictions. Here in New Orleans, we have had one weather emergency after another. So this Thanksgiving, if you can, lend a helping hand by donating coats of any size but in good condition or canned goods. Donations are being taken at the Executive Plaza in the lobby area, located at 10001 Lake Forest Boulevard in New Orleans East. Drop off your items anytime between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Deadline to drop off your donation is Tuesday, November 24th. That's the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Thank you for being a part of the Coats and Cans Drive that's sponsored by the Executive Plaza, Breakthrough Media, and Let's Live Radio. Stay tuned for pickup date. And most importantly, never give up. This year, people all around the world have had to go without due to sickness, the mandatory shutdowns, caring for a family member, and even evictions. Here in New Orleans, we have had one weather emergency after another. So this Thanksgiving, if you can, lend a helping hand by donating coats of any size but in good condition or canned goods. Donations are being taken at the Executive Plaza in the lobby area, located at 10001 Lake Forest Boulevard in New Orleans East. Drop off your items anytime between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Deadline to drop off your donation is Tuesday, November 24th. That's the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Thank you for being a part of the Coats and Cans Drive that's sponsored by the Executive Plaza, Breakthrough Media, and Let's Live Radio. Stay tuned for pickup date. And most importantly, never give up. This year, people all around the world have had to go without due to sickness, the mandatory shutdowns, caring for a family member, and even evictions. Here in New Orleans, we have had one weather emergency after another. So this Thanksgiving, if you can, lend a helping hand by donating coats of any size but in good condition or canned goods. Donations are being taken at the Executive Plaza in the lobby area, located at 10001 Lake Forest Boulevard in New Orleans East. Drop off your items anytime between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Deadline to drop off your donation is Tuesday, November 24th. That's the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Thank you for being a part of the Coats and Cans Drive that's sponsored by the Executive Plaza, Breakthrough Media, and Let's Live Radio. Stay tuned for pickup date. And most importantly, never give up. This year, people all around the world have had to go without due to sickness, the mandatory